Hi, welcome. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depends upon the time zone. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today, we'll continue the session on a digital marketing, the next phase on a third, fourth, and fifth. I think the second week completed. And third week part, we will discuss in detail today. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you, tuning in time. And we will do a fantastic session again. I'm glad that yesterday's session, all of you liked it. And I felt it's slightly heavy, but all of you said it's so simple to understand, easy to understand. So great, thank you so much. A few of the things which you asked me about off-page SEO, which is I did not cover in detail because we had two sessions on that. But by considering your questions today, I added a few portions before we went to the GA. GA stands for Google Analytics. Okay. I would like you to have this kind of terminologies familiar with you, because the moment we start doing these activities, we need to know, to understand about, the industry uses these kind of words. Okay. So thank you so much once again, all of you, for the feedback. And as I mentioned, yeah, of course, I got already a few questions. Questions will take you on a Thursday. Today and tomorrow, I will try to cover up the maximum the part for digital marketing. We have so much of things to do. As you know, the promotion is important. Around 20 phases are there. We only reached third and fourth, and all the 20 phases we need to complete before the championship, inshallah. Okay. So for the delay, without doing further delay, I'll connect you to the slides and we'll start out the session. Sure. Okay. So once again, I officially welcome all of you for the Digital Mastery Challenge. Today's 79th day of 100 days. Today, October 6th, 2020, Tuesday, 6 p.m. I'm live from Doha, Qatar. Now, so today, those who are joining first time today, I think I know some of you are, so first time with those who threw us OSM. Once you availed the OSM offer yesterday, you got a premium access today and you started attending webinar. I really appreciate that one. So first of all the 78 days of the recordings is there online. You may please go and watch. Today is 79th day. You may not feel really comfortable because sometimes you're jumping into, but it's not matter. After a few days, it'll be okay with you. But today, please pay attention to the activities you will be doing within 30 days from now, all these activities which I'm going to discuss today. So for the saying that is, before we jump into the next phase of a Google Analytics or analytics, not Google Analytics alone, because even though we use a Google a lot, but there are many other searches also we are going to use, like we are going to use Yahoo and Bing and Baidu and maybe Amazon. All the things is basically we have analytics. Okay, so all this is, so even though I say it's a GA, it's a terminology which is because we have been using a Google. It's not necessary, or it's not a good to use that same word, because analytics is the right word, because the phase I call as analytics. Okay, so now we'll start with where we stopped yesterday about talking about off-page SEO activities. Which is there we discussed a few strategies of the off-page activities and the few techniques and tactics we discussed about it. Major activities, as I mentioned, we did not cover. The reason 2 times in this during the 78 days or 79 days, we had done SEO. One is a basic of SEO when we did it. Second one when we discussed SEO 101. So we covered all the major activities of SEO in there itself. Okay. Now, but the major activities I listed out now here, and I would like to just refresh your memory. And I want you to start thinking about now, when you attended those days, you might have not decided to go for affiliate or e-commerce or a drop service or OSM. Today, you have taken a decision to start any kinds of business and you know what you're doing. So in that perspective, I would like you to have a look on it. Now, to more details, you need to go to day 23 or July 27. We had a complete discussion about this. So please note down this date and please go back to the site and watch that one. Okay. So today I'll discuss with you a few points on off-page activities we're supposed to focus more, which starting from a blog. As you know, blogs play a major role, and we have an exclusive session I'm coming out with a blog with monetization, how you make money with the blogs. But today we'll cover on an off-page perspective. You have a website and you create a blog, syncing with or same, which is accelerate your niche, same niche or a different niche, or which is actually which really support your existing business model. So you have a OSM a kind of a niche where you start the same niche of the niche blog. Or you have an affiliate program, you may actually start your own blog. And plus, even some of the platform, whether it's OSM or affiliate, we have a blogs integrated in the website itself. And blogs gives you a lot of freedom for you to do so many things. So I personally prefer to start a very aggressive, to become a blogger, connect with the bloggers, and anything on a blog to do. I think that's the reason one of the days I'll be doing a session completely on a blogs, and sitting at the blog and promotion of the blog, monetizing the blog, other advantages of the blog, SEO perspective, social media perspective, branding perspective. We discuss about it. So now keep in mind, blog has to be a social media, SEO part, especially your off-page part. You need to do blogging and use the best way. And a blog is one of the best things you can do for Google search as well. Now, second one is, of course, social networking site website, which is yesterday I was keep telling that is even though it's an off page, it is an on page. We discussed about how you on page you link with a URL with social media, single click, how you connect with this, a part of on page. But off page, as you know, any SEO social media activities which you do, it is basically going to boost your search engine optimization. So in the same brand name, same keywords, same terminology, same which is your same URLs, everything you need to keep in the social medias to boost your social media SEO ranking. So I use all the major social networking sites. In the SEO 101, I mentioned approximately 11, at least 5 to 7. Please do, based on your target audience, based on your demographic and psychographics of your customers. So this is the second part. Third one is a presentation document. Especially for your niche website, people search for a more on a convertible or maybe in a long tail keyword to know more about it, to information seeking about it. So whatever the niche is, that you can actually make a PowerPoint presentation, make a PDF part, and put on a slide share. As you know, something when you search on a Google, anything on a document wise, anything on a more detailed, you always get a slide share. An example, there are a few slides I'll show you a bit later. I put some URLs also for that. So you can have a slide share, PowerPoint presentation made for your niche report or about products and categories and price and benefits, and maybe in something which you can make. And when somebody read about, they feel good about your company, your website, your products, your brand, your URL, everything. So that's the reason. Please do make a simple PowerPoint presentation and make it and upload with maybe 10, 20, 30 pages. Okay. Now, slides on main page means the number of slides I'm talking about. Even more than 11, that's a slide actually I recommended last time. So please do that one. Okay. Now, second one is a Q&A. The Q&A, people really love it. So many people, anything you search on Google, usually one result will be from either Quora or Yahoo Answers. So Quora comes with a lot of answers. So you need to have a presence in Quora. And you can inorganically, you can have it in Quora. So you need to have questions and answers happening there with your brand, with your keywords, and with your URL. At one URL, you have a very tricky position for a Quora to play. You need to play in a very smart way where you can actually get a link, or you need to use some certain terminology. That's the reason your tagline becoming important. So you may not be able to tell but sometimes the URL, Quora is actually object in certain cases, which especially an affiliate link and that. So you need to plan in a much simple way, in a smart way, intelligent way, to place your website route or a link. I will use the route because it may not be, sometimes they'll not allow you to put a link. So you have to play a route. It is basically you put your company name, so people search in Google, they'll reach you. That's one option. Sorry. Second option is you can actually manage a longer URL with part of the content in a smart way. That's why Quora gives you a link or the comment. You can have an answer. There's a comment. You can also have that way. So there are a few methods you need to do. Go and understand about how the Quora works, and think about 11 to 20 questions about your niche and brand and the website with keywords, which you can get a ranking part. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, the news, different kinds of a niche, news should come about part of your buzz creation It is easy, and apart from that, you can also do press releases. Actually, I show you some of the website yesterday. Someone asked me what is that press releases, which I spoke yesterday. I spoke about it. Many people immediately thinking about call the press with pay money and host them dinner and organize a party and launch. No, I'm not talking about that. You do an online part, which will show you it's easy process. Okay. Now, another important part, the moment you heard of off-page SEO, usually people give a lot of importance on directory submission. Still, it is relevant, not like earlier. It was not very much important, but today, directory submission still it's a valid. You can have a lot of link, backlink creation also is important. You can submit to various directories, especially if someone search for a company or a product or a service. Directory comes up first. So directory submission. Same way, you can also have a classified submission, submissions to different, your market audience. I mean, wherever your demographics are there. Your customer is from US, then you need to have it in a Craigslist. Your customers are in Qatar, then you need to have it in a qatarliving.com. Like you have 1,000, actually a part of SEO, I don't know, hope you're wrong, but I recommended 1,000 plus classified, 1,000 plus directories is recommended. There are people do 50,000, people do 100,000. Is it worth? Depends upon your strategies, okay? So keep in mind that. Then forums, as you know, the people are going to discuss and answers and lot of information, flooded, and the right-minded people over there. You really get a lot of right people to your niche and product and services to buy from your website. And as you know, the review play a major role. Sorry. So reviews, Google, once you some keywords you put it, immediately the review comes up, and usually it's even a bad review comes up. So you need to have a good reputation. Plus your review, you yourself can create. That's one of the things as your business, you may do mistakes, you may do errors, and you will have customers who are not happy with you. And your competitors are there. On the way, you have enemies you create. All those people come and take their frustration out on the reviews. So now you need to maintain a good reputation. You need to put your own review plan part of your SEO, number one. And where you can use a keyword and use review or rank. Google really value the reviews and you can rank it. So please do take care of that one. And as you know that a lot of new rules come out. Even Qatar announced, the European Union announced about review, not like earlier. Now review is actually a bigger crime. So it's a good for one way. The customers will not do much review. I think even you need, there are many countries. Yesterday, there is a news, I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, there was a news. In Thailand, there is a European traveler imprisoned because of the review in TripAdvisor. Okay, he spoke to a hotel. He did a review very negatively about a hotel. You know how the writer review something. Sometimes they'll not allow you to extend for 2 hours or something they are not happy about. You go and do. So that's one of the frustration people take it out. So there was an imprisonment of 2 years. So that's important. The review become very, very more a legitimate way it's going to be. Not just simply putting some frustration about, complaints about, it should be a review, good review. It's going to revolutionize the review, the new rules, and even Google come out with the AI method of checking the reviews, etc. So you need to plan a review and good reputation, rank in the Google first page with your keyword. And through the review, people come to your website. The people are coming to you, they wanted to buy the products. So keep it that way also in the mind. So this is a very important part of the review part. Okay. Now, another thing which I discussed is a white paper. White paper you can use in a two-way. The moment you have white paper PDF downloads about your niche report, about your products report, anything, you can create a white paper and people can download. And while downloading, you can also make that download as an opt-in email list. So people collect the data. If somebody is downloading, you just type an email ID, so you know who's downloaded the this one. Or you can your white papers. Even you can make double opt-in by saying that we'll send you by email. So the white paper you can send them an email, so they can download it. Even though you can actually publish also, you can say the updated copy, you can send you an email. So this is another method. So white paper, okay. Now, these few techniques, as you mentioned, is article submission. So another important one is article submission. As you know, yesterday we discussed about it. So a lot of PR articles, you can submit. And there are a few directories, I'll give you links. You can actually choose the link, an example, but we can find out so many links in the championship time. We will be doing many this kind of a list will be publishing. I'll give you now. Okay, but a point before I giving you the URL, kindly note the keyword stuffing is not a good idea. So, but you need to have 3 to 5% of the keyword also in the article. So it should be a good title. How the content should be there. For example, these website you can go and you can actually post your articles. This is actually this is a part of the preparation of the and our championship. So this kind of information I'll share with you, like a DNP. I'll tell you what is DNP. It's a domain authority and page authority. So what kind of a place? Yesterday we spoke about the quality. So I'll tell you how you counter a quality at a later stage. Okay, so this is part of a championship. I'll give you this kind of a list. So you can, an example I'm sharing with you what the idea of off-page. So to rank your website, you can have this kind of a website go and submit the articles. Okay, same thing like a blog directory. You have a blog, you wanted to connect with the submission of the blog, and you wanted to connect with the bloggers, and with the quality link, you can actually put into the various directories, and you get a good result with that on a very short period of time. So you can use this kind of directories for you to get a good link from your blogs to your websites. Okay. Now, you can also contribute as a guest author. As if you're a blogger, you can do that as well. And many other people allow you that. And where you can say, I'm the founder of so-and-so website. I'm the, your designation, you can say that I'm the co-founder, or I'm in charge of, but something like that you can say. And you can also have a link with that very focused way and get a quality link. Okay, this is another method you're doing it as. Okay. Yesterday, as we discussed in the off-page, the most important is creating a shareable content. You need to have a fantastic content which people feel to share. Now, when you read an article, when you feel it is, it's worth reading, or maybe sometime our friends and relatives or someone colleagues is looking for something like this, or you feel they maybe need that, you share with them, right? So that kind of a content we need to create, and content is the king. I think don't forget that. Yesterday also I mentioned it is content is the key. So there is no substitute on the content part. Okay. So as we discussed yesterday, you get a lot of natural backlink through the content part. Okay. Now we also keep the fresh updated content which we covered yesterday. Updated content is met. Okay. Now the part of the content part, as I mentioned, document sharing, which can be about your business. It can be a PPT or a PDF, or you want to share any other thing, you can do. Like I said, in a slide share, you can put many other sites are like a box.com. Okay, you can go and share this kind of a document which gives you weightage on. Like a forum submission, depends upon the niche you are, and depends upon the community you are involved, depends upon the market you are dealing with. You need to choose the forum and go and submit that one. So there are a few examples. For general one, actually I mentioned this one. Okay. Now, another one is an image submission. Now, image with the URL you need to add, especially your websites related, your product related, your keyword related, your brand related. You can have website and optimize it properly. And the URL and title tag is there because someone search will reach you. This is one. Okay. And sometimes people directly search that way and get these pictures and reach out to your website, and it gives you good traffic on that one. So you can use a various like a Mediafire, like a website, and Pinterest is one of the best one for Google to rank. And you want to get a good ranking, it's a fantastic thing to do. Okay. Now, other thing part is the influencer outreach. There's a separate topic on influencer, especially when we discover social media. But in terms of blog, in terms of other link you are getting with other content, influencers is very important from the same niche and industry, and get them on board through even their blog. They'll connect with you, and most of the influencers will have either blog or a microblog. So ask them to connect with that to us. Okay. And it should be relevant to our domain, because influencers are problem. They're scattered with so many aspects. Make sure that it is relevant to us. Okay. Now, another important submission is infographic submissions, where about your company or a products and benefits or a niche or any of the thing which customers are looking forward to have more information. You can use infographic submission. And it's very creative you can do, and people really refer that, people share that is, and it gives a lot of people views, and people actually wanted to have, especially the more information, definitely infographics really will help. Now, the size will be, depends upon what kind of, size you wanted to use it, depends upon that when you have to choose, and you can actually go and submit even infographics as well. Okay, yeah, okay. Now, so a short while ago, I spoke to you about the press releases. You don't have to go to media companies in the local area. You can use this website where you can release about your website, about your company, about your website, about your niche, about your products, all the things through the press releases. Okay. And I mentioned the Q&A already as like a Quora. So many websites you can have a question answers, and you can do with the PR questions, with the keywords, with the relevant question you can ask and put an answer. As I mentioned, as a Quora, many sites are there. Okay. Now, Quora is ranking the best. Earlier it was answers.yahoo, and eHow is doing the best job now. Now, you can also do social bookmarking sites, and this we'll cover in detail about when we cover about social media networking, and you can promote. This is across the all the social media bookmarking part, and you can also get a lot of sites. These are the sites you can choose to do social bookmarking. And social media engagement is very, very important. Now, there's one of the major, as I mentioned, of OFF-PAGE SEO, it's a social media engagement. And engagement has a more value these days than the followers and subscribers. So how many people are engaging with this is an important aspect. Okay. Now, you need to grow with this, and you need to also have a good backlink. Through that you can do. And one issue is actually the link in the social media, especially your affiliate link and all, they don't allow you. You need to play a very, very smart way again here to get the link there to connect with us. Okay. Now, other thing is a video submission, like a YouTube, you have it as, you can also have other website, you can submit your videos, and it's also, meta image and meta videos, as I mentioned yesterday. It's very important to have this one, please. Okay. Now, you get a definitely good quality link through that, these websites, like a YouTube, an example, you can do, it is other as well. Okay. Now, Web 2 submission is another thing which, based on your domain authority, you can actually submit, and you can have a lot of informative content keeping, and it's get you fantastic traffic. Actually, it's a good one to do it as. Okay, it is you can check the website like a medium.com, etc. Okay, all these places you can do that. Okay, now a few things before you start doing. The important is that keep sharing the content and regularly updating and building the published article and building the backlink with published article. So there's a very, very important part for for the Web 2 content to share. Now, this is actually I covered once again. I think this is one way in SEO 101 I covered. Then earlier also I covered, but it's not more precisely because I have 100 plus which I discussed OFF-PAGE activities when we discussed about SEO 101. So this, even though you're not doing SEO 101, that was an important part. What I spoke to you, it's a minimum to minimum OFF-PAGE activities you need to plan. So below that is please don't do this, hardly 15, 20 things. Okay, I'm not talking about 100 people. Now, out of the 100 place, around 70 was around OFF-PAGE activities. So here I'm talking about 20, 25 things. Hopefully all of you can do that, right? So please do and start planning it and do that one. Okay. Now the phase 4, that's the topic of the day. So I believe yesterday this was missing, so we also completed that. Today we are going to discuss about analyzing. So that's a phase 4. So now once this stage comes where you're already fully optimized and you got organic traffic and conversions and everything happening. So you need to analyze. When you analyze, the first thing is, the first question you should be asking about, did you achieve a goal? That means you should have a goal first, right? So goal, objective, these are the things that become very, very important part. So I don't call it as maybe just because your analysis is only the objectives. It's actually a goal because not only just objective, through an SEO, you are trying to achieve this many sales and to have a maybe monthly basis. Okay. weekly basis. So it's a time for you to analyze and understand the effort you have done, the resources you have used, its worth, and you are getting result. So this is a process called analyzing. So as we discussed, we started with the goal, then went for on-page optimization, then off-page optimization. Now we are going for a fourth step called analyzing. So this analyze, what exactly analyze? So this, where your traffic is coming, and what kind of a users are there, and what keyword they're bringing to them to, and what are the conversions happening. Now, a lot of tools are there. So many tools are there about these things to answer. But three things are the most important: Moz and HubSpot. And Google Analytics, definitely the most high regarded. Okay, Google Analytics is the best one, no doubt about it. Okay. Now, important part is these questions, and this through analytics, what you have planned, what your objective, what exactly your ambition, and what the effort you have put it. Are you getting the customers? Are you getting the result? Are you getting the goal you set? That's the important part. So first is that the important part is you need to ask a few questions, okay, and you need to have the answers. That's where you analyze. That's the best thing. Not seeing the report, a lot of graphs and colorful and chart. No. So you need to ask a few questions yourself and find an answer. So first is, through your activities, the website can be found or not. So people search on Google, are you there in the website or not, or the Google search engine or not? And now, if it is there, how visible it is. Now, how many people are coming to my website, and which page it is there, and etc. is an important part. Okay. Now, what's the position? So what's your rank now? 79, 89, or 150? So you need to have it to come to the first four. So that's an important part. Now, for this analytics, before you go, you have to check whether have you completed your on-page technical SEO? Have you done your on-page SEO? That's important part. So please do that. The first part, you complete that one before go to the G aspects. And you also look at which are the other competitors' website, which are other website is ranking above you. Your position is 25th. You tell me which are other 20 people. So or 23 people, or 24 people. So other 24 people, you have, you will be ranking on top of that. So look at the why they are there. Can you push them up, or can you go above them? So this was an important part. And how many web pages are indexed? You know that Google work with indexed. So as we discussed last time. So how many pages are indexed? Now, are you getting traffic from a general keyword or the targeted keyword? So you had a long tail keyword planned. Are you getting the traffic from there? Or some cases that keyword you are not targeted by default because of your website's content, other aspects, you're getting a result from other keywords may happen. And how many conversions are there? How much percentage of conversions are there from each targeted keywords, general keyword and the targeted keyword? So you need to record all these data and compile it. I know it's a tedious job, but by this doing only, we'll understand what is happening. Now, today itself, we are going to discuss about the paid campaign. So if you really wanted to have a good ROI, you should know what is really happening around, right? That's an important aspect of that one. Okay. Now, once you compare detailed criteria, now you can start measuring the success or the failure of the SEO with a few KPIs. Key performance index. That's called a KPI. Three things: position, traffic, conversion. That's it. Now, what your position now? You are, as I mentioned, in your third page, fourth page, or 10th page. So your position to be improved. That's one. Second one is the traffic. So how many people are coming to your website? How many people actually visiting? And the quantity, the monthly search volume is around 100,000. How many you are getting from there? And how many people clicked it, etc. How many people signed up? How many people downloaded? How many people become opt-in? How many people registered? How many people asked the questions when generated inquiries? Or some cases even go ahead and they just contacted you in other means as well. So that's called a traffic part. Then second one is basically, third one is basically conversion. So your position, traffic, and from this through thing, how much percent of the people you are converting. So that is, as you know, that we work on a 3% conversion rate, but in the PPC campaign, not necessarily 3%, because you are paying money for sometimes for these conversions, or you have a SEO resources you're spending. There you have a conversions to come. So important part is this is an ongoing process. Google Analytics, not once in a while you look a report, it's every week you look into and understand and do course correction. That's why SEO works. So dedication and commitment will bring you the result. Okay, that's the important part. And continuously you're doing it's a become important part. Now make sure that is you maintain a weekly or a monthly calendar. Make you have a your goal you set and checking it is working. So I personally recommend is a weekly. Every week, make sure that is you measure this one where you rank. Okay, that's important part. Now we also look at it as certain marketing activities based on a traffic. You need to decide on it. Now customer retention and the key key for the conversion. So you also should check on a bounce rate. Now, how much percentage of the people are bounced less than 19 seconds? How many people are there? So Google actually gives a bounce mark, below 19 seconds. So the people come to the website, staying back 20 minutes. Sorry, 20 seconds is the very, very important aspect. Some cases, 2-3 seconds also people say, but in overall, Google really love at least about 20 seconds. People should stay back in your website, which has a value. Okay, so think about it, what's the bounce rate you have it or not. Okay. Now, one important thing I want to tell you, those who are starting a business new on a website new, once you start at Google Analytics, you will have a very high bounce rate, and don't get worried about it. Please investigate and find out which are the keywords and what are the traffic source for the bounce rate, because the traffic source you're bringing, it has nothing to do with your website. It is nothing to do with the traffic which you wanted. So they feel irrelevant to your website, they leave. So check that is which page is giving you, or maybe which keyword is giving you more rank on that part is important part. Okay, yeah. Now, so you make sure that is appropriate pages getting ranked, because some people visit one page, that page automatically will be start ranking in Google. So search engine ranking process is that way. So please, one of the issues which I'll tell you an example, if one page you promote a lot compared to other page, so when the people search that URL or maybe something landing page, go first page of the Google. So you need to take care of that one. So now, it is the bounce rate is coming from different sources. You need to understand, and from the dashboard you take it is, and remove that maybe, or of course correct that audience, etc. It's important part. Now, a few law and order for SEO you need to consider. When I say law and order, which is basically regulatory compliance based on a cyber law, based on various countries' law, we need to take care of a SEO aspect. So each country has a different law. So that's one of the things you need to keep it in your mind when we're thinking about SEO aspect as well. Now, once somebody say your website is not safe, for various reasons, people are not going to spend money on it, especially they don't use a credit card over there. They will be keeping away from you for various reasons. So that's one thing. So make sure that is you don't lose that reputation by only spamming or a suspicious domain, etc., etc. It's an important part. Now, another important part is basically, if you're using a cookies, and most of the cases you do, you need to tell them to the client you're using a cookies for a better experience. Maybe in a nice way you say, but you need to inform it's a rule. So that is to have better experience. Please click here and then take a permission on it. The cookies usage you can do. So it's important to use that one. Okay. Now, and make sure that is you are free with your copyright issues about the images you use, the website, now the videos you use, and other content you use. So if it is a copyright issues there is a problem for the people come to you and have an issue on that. Okay, so please make sure that you don't have a copyright issue. And you also have a licensing right. Not necessary you to have a copyright, but you know what, as I mentioned yesterday, you go to Internet Archive or a Creative Commons, you can use this kind of a thing. And you can do this, as I mentioned, on-site SEO and off-page SEO. It's within your dashboard. Please don't worry. And you can do home-page SEO also from there. Now, blog page SEO, if you are doing a blog, even blog page you can do in your dashboard itself. Even testimonial you can do in your dashboard itself. And you can get a lot of tools to promote that one as well. Okay. Now we go to another segment called pay-per-click. As you know, a pay-per-click is a paid method. Now we have been discussing in the last couple of days, plus earlier in we discussed about SEO 101. All the places we talk about organically are ranking. You're not paying any money to Google. Now, as you know that especially in niche stage, if you really wanted the traffic from the Google and you want to rank the ideal thing which you wanted to Google to come to your website, we might use the cost per click or a pay-per-click method. So we pay to the search engine and they give you ranking. And they give you not ranking, they give you positions above as an advertisement and get the things done. So that's exactly we are going to discuss now. Okay, so it's important part is it's a way you get a good traffic, and through the website, you pay the money and bring the traffic. Okay, now here it is instead of getting an organic visit, you are getting a paid and getting a traffic. That's the difference here. So normally the most popular form of the advertisement is a PPC campaigns, which we'll discuss in detail. Basically, as a customer point of view, you might have seen an advertisement about there is a yellow marked is called as a what is that? As advertisement. Okay. Now so that yellow mark is basically advertisement part here. Okay. Now when someone comes to your website, through a click. So that's the way it is counted as through a PPC it's come, through search engine marketing it's come. Now, to give you that link in that particular keywords based, that page, the Google will charge you a small amount. And every click you pay, every person who clicking you pay. That's exactly the reason they said it is the pay per click. So difference between SEO and pay per click is now you have to pay the money. That's the difference. So there is a process of the PPC, which all of you are going to do in our championship period. So that's the reason I would like to know you to understand the PPC process. Then we go and do a campaign original. Now this process includes it's a lot of iterative process as I discussed in SEO. Like SEO, we discussed with on-page and off-page and doing link building, etc. Same way PPC also has a same process, a kind of a same process, but it's include a process, not one time. So same like set your goal, set your account. That's a different here. Not you're doing an activity and managing your campaign and analyzing the result. So this is exactly the PPC process come here. So what is the stage one? So first of all, keep in your mind, every click you're going to pay. So you should know what exactly you wanted. If you don't know the goal, if you don't know the objective, you are getting into trouble. So important part is, to the paid search, you need to define your goal. So what is the goal you want to achieve? So make sure that is what the money you're paying, you're getting a returns. Okay. So what are the things you wanted to, when you're setting a goal for this year campaign, what are the things to consider? Number one, it's a relevance. The people are clicking and coming to you. It is basically, the relevant audience only reaching out to you. So this is very, very important, because if it's not relevant, not only you lose the money here, your campaign goes wrong, your entire plan goes wrong. Plus, you have unwanted people you are interacting with your offline activity as well. The people reach out to the mobile phone, reach out to so you have not a target audience. It's a different target audience comes. You waste a lot of time and energy and resources. And then you also to set up a time, and it's very important what time you wanted to start on it. Now you have something called self-qualifying users. Is basically when you do a campaign, automatically the people who are coming to your website, they already have a problem. I'm looking for products and services, or you have a can you give me this kind of a details, etc. So these are the things you get a client on that. So it's you get a fantastic result. Cannot say completely cost effective compared to SEO. SEO you're not paying anything, but still you have a cost because you pay a salary and you needed someone to do, etc., etc. So there is a budget allotted here, right? Now, even CPC campaign also you need to have a little budget, maybe around $500 to $1,000. That's what I recommend for a month to spend and understand about the result is coming. So $100 will be very less to judge because you cannot actually come out with a kind of a decision based on the $100 will be too less, depends on your niche and market you are doing. So I recommend around $500 to $1,000 you can spend on a PPC campaign to get your site ranked on top. Now, good thing about the PPC campaign is complete control. So you have a complete control on your campaign. Anytime, any changes you can do, and you can hold, you can cancel it, and you can increase the budget, you can repeat it, and complete control Google is giving you. That's a fantastic thing you have. So once you have a freedom, you need to have a few decisions to take it. How much money you're going to spend and you're going to bid. So you know that Google gives the keywords based on a bidding. So who's ready to pay more, they get the chance. So now the time to spend on the campaign on a bid, it's a very, very tricky question. Tricky means you are going to spend $1 per head. Now the person who's buying, how much is the dollar worth product is buying. Now plus again, all the people are not going to buy. All the people who are clicking the ad is not going to come to you. But every click, Google is charging you. Now here you need to play with the money, the pricing aspect. So now for example, you are going to spend $1,000 for advertisement campaign. So you are going to do a PPC campaign. Now $1,000 you are expecting average, let's say $1. It's quite high. $1 is quite high. You don't spend that kind of money. So $1 for every click you are paying. So you got 1,000 click, so 1,000 budget. So 1,000 is the budget you kept it, and you got $1,000 you spent, and you got 1,000 click, 1,000 people inquire about the product, or they come to your website. Now these 1,000 people are all of them going to buy? Actually, no. Maybe here is maybe 10, 20, 30%, not 3%, because as I mentioned, this case 3% does not work. We have a much bigger figure. You have a higher conversion rate. So let's say out of the 1,000 people, 300 people, they bought it. Now once they upgrade to 300, they upgrade, or they decide to purchase, or they pay money. That's what exactly the thing. So when they pay here, how much money are you going to make it? So now every person who's every person who's going to spend is going to buy, but you spend on every person, right? $1. So something like this, you spend $1,000, you got 1,000 inquiries, you buy a 300 people or 30 people they buy a product from you. Are you able to go and recover your $1,000 from these 30 people? So that's where you should price it. That's quite tricky. Hope you're getting this point. You spend $1,000 for advertisement. You got 1,000 click, does not matter how much, as long as you are making a profit. If you know the profit you're making. So now, for example, $1,000 I spent, maybe 10, 20 people bought a good products, then I made $1,000 profit. Even 2, 3 people I can make a profit. Sometimes you have so many people that came to, especially in the student, for example, students are coming to your website. They're just coming, not buying anything. So you keep spending on your conversion ratio is very less. And you spend $2,000, $3,000, only 5 customers buy, you might make a profit of $100 to $200, not $3,000. So this calculation you should do, and you are not able to understand this calculation, sit with your consultant and the mentor. They will help you to understand this calculation. So that's very important for you to understand. It's fun. And in addition to that, as you know, you will also get an additional thing, which I have been telling you always about, something called CPO, campaign budget optimization. If you know campaign budget optimization is a fantastic tool in any campaign. You know how to control, and you control the money with you. $100 only I want to spend, you make more money. Then I spend $1,000, then I make more money. So if you know this is very easy for to run a business. So this is a spend part. You should be very, very clear when you're taking a decision. Now, next one of the decision you have to take it is what exactly you wish to show in the campaign, and how often, and what the time you want it, 24 hours or 10 hours, depends upon the campaign. You should decide. Yeah, you wanted the only office hours to be presented. That can also be there. So it's not a very secret, this is doing. Now, when you do this, is another thing I'll tell you. Google actually, little partiality is there according to me. When you do an advertisement, Google also give you little mileage on your SEO as well. Okay, so it's one thing. So it's not so secret. That's what I'm saying exactly. They give a little partiality on it. So Google actually give you mileage. So you can spend. So it's also boost your SEO in a way. Okay, so it's make sure that is, you are in the top 3. That's a goal which we worked. We need to get ranking on it. So you need to understand the 2 key component ranking formula. In this part important. One is cost per click, and one is a quality score. So these are 2 important part of the campaign. So it is actually when you do it is the campaign part is quite mysterious, quite strange actually. I don't know how to explain. When you do a campaign, you need to really understand the quality and relevancy of your keyword and the campaign. So once you do actually the campaign, once you dashboard, you experience only really understand. So I want you to start creating an account. I'll show you how you create an account and start trying. So it's worth even you try with $100. It's it's not an issue. You will learn so many things on it. So there is a formula which is, we are going to discuss this when we discuss what is the CPO in detail. But for your understanding purpose, you need to keep something in the budgeting part now. So maximum CPC you willing to pay, and keyword quality score is equal to your rank. So that is the most important part of the ranking part when you go for a paid campaign. Now, what are the things you record in addition to this one? You need an ad copy, what the content you're going to use, and you definitely record a landing page. And you also should have an account structure for you, something like ad group and how much money you're spending and etc. And you also important to check the page load time. The moment a person click, he need to see that page faster, and click through rate. Now there is something called even not only CPC come with the only CPC, there is an additional element called CPM. Sometimes no click is happening, still Google charge you for a certain amount. Okay, so that's an important aspect. Then account history. Okay, so what is happening, etc. Now there are a few other undisclosed factors also there with the Google. How you get all this thing, because Google is keeping. We are not sure about what exactly they do, but we know something they're doing. Okay, now there are other a lot of other factors also there. And if when you look at this, the quality partners, of course, the CTR, click-through rate, like we discussed in the YouTube mastery. So click-through rate is one of the major factors, even in the Google, it's considered. The landing page also make a huge difference. So every campaign, according to me, you should have a landing page. The moment a person clicks, is exactly land in the landing page. And the advertising copy, now it's at copy, copywriting the properly done, that what exactly you're communicating. Some of the advertisements are empty. So we are not even a target customer. We feel to go because the advertisement, right? So a good ad copy is important. And your account performance, how well is, how many people are visiting, how many conversions I can do, and how many people I could reach, and people are, what the feedback they're getting. So these are the things important. Now, based on this, you need to set a goals. So here, I would like to spend some time with you. This is the place I think all of you are going to do mistakes. And just continuously doing a mistakes as well. Okay, it's not one time you're going to do. So define your business objective. This is Google is going to ask you this question. In the campaign you are going to design, they are going to ask you this question. And usually in the theoretically, we all of us know, academically, all of you learn, okay, branding and search. These are my objectives. So when you add a branding and search, it's a huge difference. When you see the moment you sort of do a branding for a branding purpose, the display ad, other banner ad, they show and they only give you so many people seen your brand. If you don't have a campaign objective as a branding, never say to the campaign designer, that's for a branding. So you need to very uniquely, I need a lead, I need a sales, I need a shopping. Then use, I need a sales, not a lead. So the many at the time people do mistakes on the objective part. So if you haven't done any business activities, this is a time for you to decide. Now, why I'm again and again indicating this is, you might have seen, I have been telling about VM Goza. That's the format we work. And we in that we have something called objective, right? Vision, goal, and objective, strategies, and action, right? So objective, we need to define here. So this, if you are not defined the objective, now you will have trouble, because you will go through a lot of issues. Okay. Now, before we go to the goal setting, actually, I'll tell you why it is important. Now, each campaign, you should know the objective. Now, you have a goal book, 36 months or a 5 years time, you plan to make a $1 million. You break down with the 36 months or a 5 years time, depends on which are the goals that you are done or you are going to do. Don't worry, those who are not done this goal set, you have to do before the championship. You set a goal for 36 months or 5 years, every month what you do. That's your goal. Now, this goal to achieve, there are a lot of activities should be done with various objectives. So this objective to be connected to your goal. For example, you have a monthly goal, you'll have 4 campaigns or 4 activities divided by 4. And each thing on even revenue, how much to be generated also you should know. So these objectives should be very, very clear. And now if you are alone and you're running this one, make sure that you are clear about objective. Then someone is designing your campaign, you need to tell them and ask them to tell you the objective. So then we know that he understood properly. I know this I'm keep talking about again and again. Why I'm saying it is, I've seen most of the time people fail to understand the objective. Even sometimes we fail to communicate effectively about what is the objective. And some people will not even understand, even not even think about it, the proper objective. And especially if you have a person who's designing a campaign, if you're not understood your objective, you're going to waste your money. Absolutely, you're going to waste your money, because he configured without understanding object. So you need to define about what, for example, I needed these kind of customers inquire about the products, and he was to come and buy from my portal so and so products. That would be your objective. It looks like a very simple, but it's a few things is there in the campaign time. You need to define this objective and tell them. I'll tell you why tell you. It's not one time, many time in my team, when I worked with the team, whether it's a digital marketer or any other thing, including this Mendes team, when you look into, sometimes, even though repeatedly we talk about objective, people will not get that objective. It's a human nature. And even if the people knows objective, then should be reminded of the objective. So there are psychologically few things to be taken care of. Number one, objectives to be written. And we should see biologically. It's a biological requirement. We need to see the objective. So that's the reason the objective to be written and communicated to the person who is designing the campaign and the people who are working it as. Now you've seen whether it's a vision or a goal or a objective, especially all the visions, you can see the people put in a big writings, like big hoardings they have there. They make a statue out of it and talk about this vision. They will set a goal on it, and they communicate. Why Vision 2030 of the Qatar? It's published and put in that various places. Vision 2070 of the UAE. You can see in the Emirates Tower. So in the UAE, it's written with 2070, and Vision 2030 of Japan. It is again a well-written document. So it's not the brain of the politician leaders or in the brain of the CEO. It is every company's vision and mission is published on in the manual, in the book, or maybe operating system, or maybe in the website or the corporate document. It is actually well written. Similarly, you also should have a well-written goals to have it and backed by the objectives. So before you make a strategies and action, this objective should be there. And this, if you're working as a team, now you have a team, your spouse or a friends and relatives or your staff members, your colleagues or a partner, and you make sure that is they also understood the objective. Okay, that's an important point. I'll tell you a very simple example now. So our mentors team, which we are doing a sort of freemium part, right? And I have to keep telling about the freemium. Freemium is our goal, and we need our objective is every time when we do, we need to have this is 1,000 numbers and 30% conversions, and this objective we are looking for. In championship, we'll go and show to the people, and for this we wanted. Almost every day, which I communicate, every day, almost every day. And objectives, yes, almost every day. Goals may not be every day, maybe once in a week. And you can't believe in entire June month, which I spent time to explain about these objectives and the goal. And on a daily basis, every day morning, I explain to the people about these objectives and the goal. Not one or two people, more than 25 to 50% of the people fail to understand the objective and the goal. It's a reality. It's not first time. It is actually nature of human beings. Sometimes people really not understand. You will not be able to get along with you with your goal and vision. So you may have to go and talk to their level and to communicate. That's one time. And sometimes there are people, they don't want to understand as well, because they come with a different objective. So they have different objectives, different perspective. So they will not take your objective. So that's the reason. Make sure that is you define these objectives and they are with you for an objective aspect. Okay, so it's a very important part. And even tomorrow, when you talk about the result time, when you go for Google Analytics, in this case, I'll tell you, when you did a campaign with an expert or a campaign did with your staff member, or you did with your mentor, with your consultant, when you go to the Google Analytics, they'll surprise you. Not one time it happened to you, many times it happens to me. Because when you define the objective, they're not understood. It is one. See, this again, not only one time, it's a repeated one, the vision and goal. You look at any organization, every organization has a weekly meetings and monthly meetings and daily meetings. Even you look at the religion, or either Friday or a Saturday, Sunday, they call up one time, now the church or a synagogue or a mosque, they called to reiterate the goals and vision and the objective, right? So they know, right? They know what is the objective, right? They know what most of them is about a judgment day. They're going to reward you or punish you. Everybody know. Then why should we call again and again and talk about this one? Same way, now we know the Coca-Cola means it's a cool drink. So why should they keep telling us again and again, hey, buy Coca-Cola? Because that's a way human being. So this is the way. So make sure that is first, you define your objective very clearly, first thing. And to define this objective, you should have a goal. To have a goal, you should also have a vision. So this is again a connected one. So now one campaign, now I'm talking about a PPC perspective. Now you're going for a PPC perspective. Now you're going to spend $1,000 for what? So first of all, you are defining, it's more easy. That's the reason I recommend you to learn about the AdWords, but it's not easy. It takes many questions of the things you need to set up. But it's good if you do yourself, because you know your business better, but you need to define your objective. So you believe it is, through this campaign, I want to promote these products. And I want people to buy maybe a luxury watch. I want people to buy this kind of a jewelry. I want people to buy jeans of this one. So now you know that your objectives are, you wanted to sell at least 100 jeans. Each jeans I'm making around $25. So $100. If I'd make around $2,500. So I can spend $1,000. You're very clear. So you want to sell a jeans. So now you need to define who is going to buy your jeans. So you need to take out your avatar of your customer. So now the jeans there is an offer is going on. And for that jeans, you need to have sales. So you need to know that is that kind of a jeans, who is going to use it. So those people you want to target. So your objective is you wanted to have a targeted customer. You need to have 100, your objective in a level, overall you can say, I wanted to sell 100 jeans to make it $2,500. I'm agreed to pay $1,000 as a campaign. Now, these $1,000, when they're going to spend, you're very clear about your objective. This objective is to be, now you bring a person, never used a jeans, and is your targeted age of a 15 to 30 is the age you are looking for a people to buy a jeans, and you're getting 55 to 60-year-old people, you're completely wasting money, right? So this objective and the targeted customer, you need to connect them, get them down. So if your objective is not properly communicated, you'll have a problem. That's the reason, initial stage, when the campaign time, even someone else is doing a campaign for you, you cross-check everything and you think about what the result comes out of it, okay? Now this is never forget. So every campaign, your one slide talk about, one content talk about, maybe one half of the page talk about it, the objectives. These objectives to be communicated on repeatedly. So otherwise people say, I got it, sir, so campaign is running good, so many calls is coming. That's not the thing we want. We don't want calls, we want sales. Even you're working on a leads, not unwanted leads. No, you want a quality leads to come. So this is important. This actually, I'm sure one or two campaign fail. You remember what I'm talking to you. As I mentioned to you, not one or two times I failed on communicating the campaign to the PPC campaign owners, that if even an expert do mistakes understanding on a campaign part. So they need to have a complete understanding of what exactly you are expecting through this one. So you need to repeatedly communicate. So never forget this objective part. Okay, so I believe I have given enough importance this one. Okay, and if you tell me, are you going to do perfect? Actually, no. Are you going to do mistake? Yes. You are going to fail this? Yes. I can predict you now itself, because you are not the only person who's handling the campaign. You'll have a team. You have mentors. You are a mentee. You have mentors. Your consultant. Your trainers. Your event manager. Your social media influencer. They need to have a clear understanding about your objectives. So you need to tell them, I have a jeans I added in my website. I want 100 jeans to sell in my website, and I want these customers from, let me see, this jeans is a winter clothing. I have an offer price for a teenage girls. So I want a female age of 15 to 35 years of age, or 15 to 30 years of age, coming from different part of the country. I have a delivery that this areas from. I want that people to come from this area. So this is the very minute details of the objective you need to go and tell them. So this is one example. Second example, I tell you, if you have a larger thing, if you have a funnel, especially PPC, you have a funnel. Like we work with a funnel. We have a free webinar funnel. I think we have a 3 level of funnel. So we are getting to the people to the free funnel. To the funnel is a free webinar. We get an expectation of the freemium. So if you don't communicate it to your blogger, to content writers, your freemium is your objective, they're not going to understand about it. They're going to do mistakes. So they're going to tell you and justify you, hey, you're offering a free webinar. That's not the objective, right? That's not the objective. They're going to that they're going to argue. So this is exactly the point here I would like to mention again. During the conversation, you might say, my conversion ratio is 3%. I'm looking for around 1,000 people to click on my website for buying selling of the jeans. So he will register that and he bring 1,000 clicks. There's no use to you, right? So this is a portion. Now forget these. Defining your business objectives. Never compromise. Okay, this step, I know next week I'm going to do VM Goza. In that we are going to do objectives, but now I'm talking to you in the PPC perspective, and I'll tell you and underline how here it is. All of you, those who, when you lose the money on a campaign, please don't blame me. I spend much time on explaining how the objective defining. That objective defined based on you to go to strategy, which I'm going to discuss with you. Then that action. That's it. So very simple. So you defining the campaign objectives become very important. Now, once you have developed the campaign objective, then you need to develop the goals, right? So you have 36-month goals and a 5-year goals, and there are different goals we are working on it. So this goal is a part of our VM Gosa process. So if your business objective is to increase the brand awareness, and then you can use actually to display advertisement. If your objective is not only selling a jeans, never say brand awareness, because now someone see your website brand as a banner or a YouTube ad. that does not make sense for you. You are not looking to create a brand image for if it is not there. Especially on an affiliate site, you are trying to do ISM before that you want to do. You're not looking to create a brand, or you are not willing to pay $1,000 as a brand, because those are exactly the problem. I'll tell you. Now you have $1,000, you want to make it $2,500 by selling 100 jeans. That's very clear, right? In that, so now the campaign designing time, or you are designing campaign, Google asks you your objective, and you want to do branding, you say yes. The moment you say yes, it's a big mistake, because then display ad will show, right? So don't go for it. So display ad is, you're not going to create with this $1,000. Of course, you have a branding objective, but if this $1,000, you don't have a branding objective. Hope you're getting this one. There you only use traffic for a sales. So it's important part to keep defining your objectives. Otherwise, you do mistakes. Okay, please keep this one, your objective defined. So with your business, now goals assigned, and now you need to track your KPIs, in the unit performance index you should do. So it is make sure that is your target. Few things you need to think about identifying target. Now so many indicators as there for a site with the dashboard, you get it. Now, first of all, the goal which you set, do not set an unrealistic goal, because there's no magic people do that one. Now, you need to realistic goal, you keep it. Like, for example, you're spending $2,500 or $1,000, getting $2,500. It's not a realistic goal. It's not thinking, I spend $1,000, I want $100,000. May not be. I mean, 1 million, definitely not. So think about a more realistic goal. So now, what are the steps you step? I'm going to talk to you something called dump. You need to follow this rule called dump. Okay, I'll tell you what is dump. Before that, what is the step number one? Define your business objective. I again repeatedly tell you, without step one, do not go to step two. Now, step two, develop goals for each business objectives. Now, this objective, again, you further make a goal. Through this, I'm going to achieve this much one. Okay. Now, you identify the KPI. Based on this one, you need to decide, it's continue or not. So it's important to analyze and do as well. Now, what exactly dump? So dump is a doable. So you feel it can be do, and it also should be understandable. Everybody can understand what you're talking about. They can, if this campaign, customers understand, the campaigners understand, you understand. And these kind of a campaign, can you manage? There are cases sometimes you cannot manage. For example, you did a campaign to generate a lead. You got thousands of leads. You have only 10 people team. One month is going to handle 10. So you can only 100 leads only you can handle. Less is you cannot manage. Is it a beneficial? If the line you're spending $1,000, can you make it $2,500? Is it beneficial? So dump, never forget. So doable, understandable, manageable, and beneficial. Okay, it's important part. So you also don't fool yourself. Don't put a lot of big target. No, please don't do that one. Now, KPIs again, majorly three areas. One is a direct response. So the moment you put an ad, you're getting a good direct response. Think about how many people are coming to your website and taking a decision. Now, branding and awareness campaigns. So this is people, it can be an objective, can do that one. An engagement campaign. Sometimes you need to have an engagement goal now. So into order to generate a lead, etc. You can do this one. So this thing in a three-part, you can actually think about how it is happening. So now, before we go at this one, you need to have a setup. So the process actually, second part we discussed now, the first step, which is setting a goal. With an objective, every campaign you have an objective, you set your goal, then set up your account, then managing a campaign, analyzing the result. That's exactly the process. The process one will start with the taking up the Google AdWords accounts. So Google AdWords account, all of you can, you already have it actually. How? Everybody has it, because the moment you have a Gmail, you have automatically you are sent for a Google AdWords. Then if you don't have it to Google Gmail, you just sign up and automatically you have a AdWords account to do. So how do you set up a Google AdWords account? It's very easy steps. You can go through this one. One Google account, sign up with your Google account first. Then go to ads.google.com where you get this one, you can log in, select your Google account and log in. Now, once you this one Google Ads account, and you can click on a Google Ads account. Then it'll ask you your advertising goal. There's a problem here. You understood? If you don't set a goal first, you cannot answer this. Now, if you don't set a goal, what happens is to fill up this, you do something, and you're going to do a lot of mistakes, and you lose money here. Not $1 or $2, every time you do campaign, you do. So make sure that is your advertising goal and that your objective, what are the thing you want to do. Then put your business name, your website name, your URL name you can do. Now, you also tell us where people go after they click. Now, you have to put your website URL, maybe in the landing page, you have to mention there. And after they're clicking, add where they reach, and we show that in the one. Now, if the landing page is correct there, when they cross-check it, then you proceed. Then you create your campaign. So when you create a campaign, now there are series of fields now you need to complete, and we'll go one by one. So first of all, headline and headline 1, headline 2, headline 3. So you can see the put in the various kinds of headings. You need to see that one. So you can see like headings. You can see so many advertisement campaigns. Same way you're creating that headlines. Now you also include the keywords. Here I'm not talking about your SEO keywords alone. You can also have a generic keyword. You can have a broad match keyword, and any kinds of keyword you can have here. So in this keywords, you need to have a list of keyword which you really want to target, because we use a long tail keyword to rank easier and shorter method. Here using a paying the money, so anything you can rank. But important is the conversions. Your objective is meeting or not. So everything go back to the objective. So select a region and location. That's the first thing we should do. Which market you wanted to do it as. You also decide how much you want to spend. So here, do not take a risk. Do not spend. A lot of people lose a lot of lost money if you don't really calculate, and Google take out you, or Facebook or Google really take the money from your credit card. So make sure that is how much you spend on it. Now, as you know, this process is a bid process. So how much you wanted to bid, how much you want to spend, and maximum I recommend $1.50. $1 is the ideal one, but some cases, sometimes $1 we say you can actually don't get that level. Okay. So Google AdWords actually tell you it's a high or a low, etc. So then you get a page like this, and where you add all the things. The text ad, you have something called text ad and display ad. There's a different type of ad comes. So text ad, there's something called ad copy. So before you setting in the campaign, you need to have an ad copy. Start your own online 100 days digital mastery challenge, $100 per day. Part of that kind of a wordings and the copy you need to have it as. Okay. Now you also decide to pay how you want to pay the money for a campaign. So one is automatic payment. Automatic payment is you basically record a credit card to keep it there, and a certain threshold reaches or 30 days, whichever come first, they'll take out the money from your credit card or from credit card basically, or you can also you also get a credit from the Google. It depends upon the company. There's actually I used to have that facility. We can assign to the people. You have a person who work. There are people actually. One of the services in future we wanted to do this one, where you don't have to pay in advance. You can do later. So you get around 50 days is on a credit. So, but now in the initial page you may not get a credit. You can do something called automatic payment. So credit card, you have to keep it, and threshold is that this much amount comes, they take it, or this month campaign, they take it. So 30 days time period, you can do it. Second one is a manual payment. If you ask me in the initial stage, I recommend you go for a manual payment. You put some money in a deposit, and from there only use it. So, or whenever you wanted to, you use that money. Otherwise, do not put a credit. The moment you put a credit card, you don't even know sometimes campaign running. And money keep going, you keep getting a text messages on the bank and the credit card money to go into the Google. So it's very important to take care of the payment aspect. Now, the most important one is the time zone. Which time zone you wanted to show? Set up the time, and you also mentioned that you want to see a 24 hours, or you want only working hours. You don't want to show on evening hours. That how you can configure it as. Then the campaigns usually. Not one person run. you need to have multiple people to run a user access you need to give. And there are so many aspects of the campaigns when you do it. So in that you can give an access to the people. Some places you can receive a notification. Some places you can the people can see a report. So like that you can have a different kind of user activation and give the details to the people. Now once you set up this one, now there are three to four people will be handling the campaign. Now the campaign architecture is the most important part. Now if architecture is not properly done, the campaign is going to fail. So now the poorly structured account is actually it's a waste of time and money. So there's no point you're doing it this way. Now there's something called advert structure, and every campaign which you do, you'll have multiple ad group. So there's something called ad group, where you one campaign, one ad group, another. You'll have multiple ad group pictures. Okay, so you can actually add campaign. You can configure the language, geographical limitation, and budget, and you can have a multiple ad group in this one. One group, I want to add this kind of keywords, this kind of a target audience you can do, and now you can actually you can configure with the CPC that one. And you can also have a keywords and with the keyword tools which I'm going to discuss with you, and set up an ad group as well. So this is one of the methods you can actually start the structure part. Now based on a budget, if you allotting, it's a start appearing on the top of the search result in a Google. I'm talking about CPC in terms of a Google, and you can configure based on a language, locations, and daily spend. How much you want to spend on a daily, what the language you want to target, you can do that one. Then another level is the middle level is basically you can actually you can have keywords and which keywords you want to use, you can do that one. And bottom, it's basically keywords related to the group also you can have. So the three things you can have it there. Now one issue is basically one domain per ad group they allow. So you want to do multiple ad group, you have multiple domains and multiple sites also you can utilize. So this is one other thing. Now this you cannot target multiple ad group into one domain always. So you need to plan that in such a way to do that. It's not required as well. Okay. Now once you set up a campaign, make sure that is now in the Google AdWords interface is properly done, and have an entire look look at the campaign and the reporting part, tools part, opportunities, everything. You need to regularly review this one. So how do you start? The step one is click on a campaign. Click on the campaign. Then there is a red button here. You can see in the below. So I marked it there as written. Click on the campaign. Now this will drop down and show the different options of creating a ad. So you can do search network with the display select, search networks you can do, display networks you can do, shopping you can do, videos you can do, and universal app campaign. So different campaigns from the Google you will be able to choose it. Now if you're planning to run as a display campaign and and search campaign independently, you need to monitor this also in a separate way. This is a very important part. These are the things you need to be to be careful on it. Okay. Now step 3, then when you go to the search network, now how do you do this one? Okay. So once you set up the campaign on a screen, you can see something like this. Now it's the campaign standard one. Okay. Standard for all the features. Now into configuration of this is very important. Once you choose the campaign, for all the campaign may not record all the keywords to display and all the locations as well. And plus there should be a call to action. Even in the ad, you can put a phone numbers call. So sometimes without even clicking, people call you. So you can also have a CTA, and you can say free consultation. And first 30 callers will get this free something. So there you not even record a click. The people see the number, people call you or WhatsApp you. So Google is not charging you when on a click, because of course there is something called a CPM charge, but we can also put that kind of a number there. Now, once all the things you configure, the targeting part, you should know that is something like a device you can target. You can target MacBook, you can target Apple products. You say, I only wanted people for an Apple Corporation product. I want to see either iPhones, iPad, and MacBook. I don't want to show the advertisement any other device. Like that, you can actually target a device. You can also, running in line with the various types of devices, you can use that one. Now, if in the targeting in the section, you'll notice that you have been automatically opted into the target all the devices. If you're not configured that one, for example, you are selling something on a premium thing, and you feel it in your region, most of the premium customer uses only iPhone, or you wanted that kind of people only to come to you, you can actually configure that way. If you're not choosing, by default, it'll take all the devices. Okay. Targeting by location is also one of the most important features, and immediately you have to choose that one. So how you choose the targets? So one is actually IP address targeting. You can say from where the people coming in. So like you aren't targeting Qatar, then you can only target Qatar. No, you don't. No, you don't go to the Middle East. For example, it's not shown in the Bahrain, it's not shown in Saudi Arabia, it's not even shown in India. So you can configure that IP address for a Qatar. So the people from Qatar only see the advertisements. So the click. So you don't waste your time or money by showing this one to other places. Now, when you look at it, is actually location part. You make sure that is where you really mention that is what do you say, configured properly. If you're not taken, show by default. I think I told you about recently some products of some of the country which I never wanted to go. They keep showing me that is you buy a property here. So something like that, you'll have an issue. Okay. Now, 3 options for target your campaign location. So one is actually majorly the location you choose, all countries and all territories. That's a global campaign. Your budget will exhaust like anything faster. And it is so it's may not be a good thing, because many of the country you don't do it unless you are doing it globally, all the countries, good service and support and product delivery, for the OSM or maybe for affiliate marketing or a social media influencer. Make sure that is if you are doing only, then you choose that one. Or you can choose your country you wanted, 1, 2, 3 you can do. Or you can also choose another. Let me choose there. You can configure much better way. Okay, so now you'll give once you choose, they'll give you the following options. What are the options they'll give you? So the city wise, you can actually do that. Even you can actually radius. You don't want to, once you choose in a city, you don't want to show to every. For example, in Doha, I only wanted to show the advertisement in the Lusail and Pearl area. Actually, I can show that way. And actually, I can the 15 kilometers or 30 miles, I can configure, and I can say this is the only area I want to show the end. There was another product earlier called Advert Express of the Google, which is only by default shows only 60 kilometers in and out. So you can configure the location that way. So radius, you can actually target. When you say Doha, it's not necessarily entire Doha to target. When you say Bangalore, entire Bangalore, not necessary to target. When you say London, entire London, you don't want to target. Only the one particular area you want to target, you can actually target that way. You can also have location-based groups creation for a particular campaign. You can also have bulk location, depends upon, especially when you're doing an SEO 101, you'll have 11 primary location, another 100 locations. Right? So you can actually target that way, actually you can do. So you can configure in the AdWords, same thing. Now, you can also customize the language. So that's another thing in the location. Now, by default, the campaign will be in target language in which which language your account is set up. That will be a default language. You set on English will be a language. So that's the language they'll be taking. Now you can also target other languages, and you can actually show this as well. Other languages also you can show. Okay. Now, for example, in Qatar, now your advertisement is in English. Now you wanted to see the Arabic word users, the Arabic language, those who are browsing Google, still you can show the advertisement in English. So even to the Qatari audience, you want to show that, so you can show even the browsing on they're using only in Arabic, still they can see an English ad. So that's why you don't have to translate that and do it. Now, once you have this one, there's a bidding strategy you need to take care. Now, this is a very tricky and little expertise required, little financial model is required, and make sure that is you understand this portion. So one is actually manually bidding. So this is basically setting up your payment method, and you create the upper budget, etc. Then you have another thing, automatic budgeting. So sorry, automated bidding. So manual bidding and automated bidding part. So it's there's something called a ceiling bid. You can actually put an upper limit up to that level only. I want to run it. Now, which I recommend it is, you bid only between $1.52 and $2, because once you've gone through this campaign creation, if it is different price recommendation also Google give you, is don't worry on it. Okay, so setting out your daily budget also important. You want to daily spend $500, daily $300, daily $100. It is you need to set that one, because otherwise it's a lot of money will be going, and sometimes too low also not good. You feel it is not working for you. So a reasonable amount of the thing should be there actually. Okay, now now this one is actually another one is a delivery aspect. How fast you wanted to start this campaign and to showing to the people and start getting the leads or a sales. So usually what to say, immediately it start 24 hours, 48 hours to start, and the result is coming. It depends upon the campaign nature. It may be changing, maybe within a day, 2 days you can see. Sometime maybe in a week's time you can see, but not necessarily the same day the result is coming on it. Now you can also accelerate the delivery with you can increase the budget, and per daily spend you can have a more, and you can also have a increase in the delivery on part. Now, so if your quality score is good enough, even also shown someone else display, and someone else versus also it shows that one. You can actually decide this if you want to do that one as well. For an example, I'll tell you in the keyword based, for example, an exact keywords and approximate keyword, or a random keyword. More precisely, I'll tell you some of the things which is a broad match, like in SEO we discussed about SEO, the broad match keyword. Same way, you can also do that one. So if your quality score ad rank is too low, then ad will not display for an accelerated delivery. Now what we do is once we had done that, when we schedule the ad. So when you wanted to start one, so first is when you wanted to start and when you want to end. Now, as you know that if you want to start this weekend, by Wednesday, Thursday, it should be approval okay. That means by Monday, you need to complete the entire configuration, etc. So then it might take 1 or 2 days for to start moving at. Okay. Now, you need to put a deadline as well with the campaign period. You can put it start date and end date, and keep it there. And you can also schedule the ad with the timing as well. For example, Wednesday you want to show between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., but the Thursday you don't want to show it up to 6 p.m. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is fine. You can do that well. Now here, one important aspect is a keyword selection. So now we discussed about SEO keyword. That's not the thing which I'm talking about. I'm talking about keywords for your campaigns. It's a completely different thing. I want you to completely look at it a different way. Now I'm not talking about your SEO keyword. Okay, I'm talking about your campaign keyword. It may be similarities will be there, but not necessary. In that way, you use a long tail keyword, and here you may not use a long tail keyword. Okay, so it's a different one. So the starting point is campaign. Most important part is deciding what kind of a keyword you are going to pay. So keyword selection is a very, very important. Your ad copy, with the content of your advertisement copy, landing page, bids, all the thing is based on your keywords. So that's the reason keyword you must choose for AdWord campaigns separately by looking at the Google Trends. I'll tell you the Google Trends, how to use it. So if you don't choose the right keyword, and you'll have a wrong customers come to you, and you'll be unnecessarily wasting your time. So you need to spending money, audience, now, and to get a conversion and sale, but don't spend and randomly choose a keyword. You need to use a tools. So PPC keyword research, you need to have a tools. I think we discussed so many tools about it. Now we'll discuss about the two good tools which will really help you. Number one, Google Trends. So Google Trends is one of the best one for you to get all the information. So Google Trends, it really give you complete history of the search, particular keyword, and all the details you can have. So it's also gives you growth, but the problem with this, they'll not show the search volume like other keywords. They only show you the trend. It's a given overall overview how particular the categories is showing and how many last year what is happening, etc., etc. So they'll not really show number of people actually like a keyword MSV, monthly search volume. They don't show, but it give you overall view. That's a good one, and they from there we can derive what the trend was happening about. Okay, now this actually is there's a good, you'll get a lot of insight about it. Now, for example, when you look at it as now it's entering a Samsung and a Huawei or Apple, you can see which is the most popular brand by looking at the search terms. So you'll understand from the Google Trends who is having a maximum search for Apple or a Huawei or a Samsung. So you get that one. So it's a very, very important part. Okay, so that's a reason. Even though you don't get it, we have a logically thinking about MSV, but here is what our trend, like a Google Trends. I'll come to the search volume later. Okay. Now, Google Trends, even you can, for your targeted country, even you can actually search based on your trends. You can have a look into how the trends is created for your country for a particular keyword. You can actually do that as well. Now, it's also include the news stories. It's relevant for this information. So this Google Trends you need to look into to get an entire campaign idea. Now, keyword planner, I think we used earlier, and now all of you used to ask me what is the bidding, what is the payment, etc. So that's a portion now we are covering. Earlier, I used to say that skip the step and wait for it, etc. Now, exactly the thing is wait. Now, here you need to look at the past 1 year time, past 12 months, that's the right word. Specific keyword, how it is ranked, this is going to show. So, it's also suggests you a new keyword which for your plan. The moment you are planning to go for a campaign, they gives you lot many keywords which you can get a result. But remember point, Google is working for making money, and they will try you to spend more. And of course, if you don't get a return on an investment, you'll not go back. They also aware about. So they don't give you randomly so many, but they'll recommend you and motivate you to use keyword, more keyword. So each keyword you need to differently bid it, and it is actually you get a lot of advantages by using this keyword planner, and you also get a competition details, and you can also bidding details you can have there. Once you reviewed all the keywords, now you can add to the plan. So you can check each keyword, which are the keyword you want to show. So again, here is objective. So this keyword is matched with your objective or not. This keyword matched with your customers or not is also an important part. Okay. Now, keyword planner will give you estimation about how much money you should spend every day, and also give you an estimation about traffic estimation with a cost. They'll give you all the things in automatically in a Google give you. So you can actually take out all the ad groups to an Excel sheet and keep it for your reference and an estimation purpose. So you get a Google keyword planner. I think all of you seen it is. Now, Google match type is an important part. That's a very tricky one. So please pay attention here. Google keywords. Now, what kind of types of a keyword you wanted to go? Especially bidding time, you want to go for an exact match or a broad match. Exact match, you only spend only particular keyword match. So this again depends on your niche and budget and your conversion rate. Conversion strategies make sense here. And of course, there are a lot of things to consider. So what are the things you need to go for? And you take an example, something like that. Then you will understand what I'm talking about. Like cheap hotels in Qatar. So that's a thing you are looking for to promote. You have a hotel, or you're providing a travel services, hospitality services, hotel booking, you're queuing. So your promotion of the keywords are cheap hotels in Qatar. So this is the word you use. So exact match, Google only show these one. No, this exact thing someone's searching, then show that. That's called exact match. They will not show anything else. Now you can choose the exact match to do that one. You can add 2 square brackets either side of the keyword, and you put it that like a cheap hotels in Qatar, like, and you put in a bracket. So then Google will not show the advertisement any other keywords. So it means nothing else they'll show. Those are one of the good decisions sometimes, but it may not be always. I'll tell you why, because people also might choose some other words, right? So now someone search on a hotels in Qatar, you will not come if someone's searching. So hotels in Qatar, when someone is searching, you won't become. Now there's something called a phrase match. So what exactly phrase match? In a match type, you have like a broad match. We can have a little more broader, and it is little broader target. You some other words also you can do. Now, for example, cheap hotels. Somebody searching for a cheap hotels with IP, you choose in Qatar and cheap hotels. So somebody choosing a cheap hotel, still the ad can be shown. So it makes sense because you already configure IP as a Qatar. So you're only getting it from the Qatar cheap hotel you can use. Okay. So you can actually keep this as well. You can also have something called modified broad match. What exactly modified broad match? When starting a campaign, now you can do a kind of a type of this one. Later you realize you wanted to have a much more thing. You can actually modify that one. So here is actually plus sign in front of the words that user must include in the search query. You can add that one. For example, hotels near in Qatar. So you can actually have that way. You can add that way. So you can add a little more. So there is only a plus sign in the front, hotels and Qatar. You can actually notice that way. Put it there. That means the word must be included in user search query for an ad. Then only ad will appear. Otherwise, ad will not appear. So this way you can have a modified one. Then you have something called broad match. So broad match is basically this match. It is actually when you have good budget, it's worth making. Number one. Number two, your niche also matter. Sometimes you're not looking for a specific, especially you're a normal portal or a multi-brand outlet. It's really work for it. So it is basically, if you're not carefully doing it, will be a disaster. As you know, you will lose a lot of money. You don't get a result. And interestingly, most of the time we will do broad match because otherwise you feel no result is not coming. And you may think the campaign designer, when you campaign designer is not did a good job, because sometimes you ask one campaign designer or campaign planner or PPC campaign planner to do campaign, and you're not getting any call. So you go back and say no calls. Why? What is happening? That now he'll make a broad match. You get a calls, but it's a waste of money, time, energy. So he broadened the thing, and you don't get only targeted customers. Other customers also you'll be there on. So here that's an important part, and you can also add misspellings and variations and for your keyword, because not necessarily exact keyword you're using the same sentences, same spellings they use, maybe a variations also may use. You can also target that one. There's another thing with this we'll end for today. So that is called negative match, and never do this one. And negative keyword, this match type is basically you don't want to show this search queries, any kind of thing. Okay. For example, 2-star hotel does not want to display in the search result for 5-star hotels, right? Now someone searching for a 2-star and 5-star hotels coming there is a negative. So don't show that one. So you can actually exclude this one. So negative may simply place a minus here. So then you can minus. So earlier you did plus, like that you can do minus as well. For example, minus 5-star hotels in negative exact. Minus 5-star hotels, negative phrase you can do. So 5-star hotel, negative D you can do. So you can actually, all the thing is the platform, you can easily do. Then I'll just take a 1 minute, then we can finish it off here. the most targeted audience. Now, when you look at it, the campaign, if you're doing it in terms of an example of a hotel, the best one is exact match. So most targeted audience, you get a good conversion, but less number of people. But that's exactly wanted. But you have less. Then you can go for a phrase match. Here are more targeted audience with the cheap hotels. You'll have, but conversion will be less over there. And your campaign can be successful, and you make money as well. You make a profit as well. Broad match modified one is also not bad. You can actually more targeted audience, hotel, and you have a budget that you can actually play around. Then the budget is required. Now, broad match is a challenge. With the limited resources you're working around, please don't work on it. Please don't do on it. I recommend just not do it as broad match. And broad match modifier is fine. Broad match is really, you should be very careful. Okay. Now you can, of course, negative keywords. You don't want to show something, you have to define that. So this is why it is actually all the part is done. Okay. So thank you so much, all of you. I think this phase will be completed. Now tomorrow we'll start with another phase. Okay. So thank you, all of you, and I'll join you a couple of minutes time in the mastermind. Then we'll have a detailed discussion of the campaign part over that. Okay. So thank you very much, all of you. I'll see you there.